my husband says it was an exciting day for golf today. I unfortunately didn't get to see any of it.
Do you like watching golf?
Yeah, sometimes. I like the end, especially
Have you ever
when it
played
gets
golf?
exciting. Putt-putt.
Putt-putt. Well, it counts as golf.
I'm good at putt-putt.
This is the Masters. This is the most prestigious golf tournament there is, and it had quite a finish, a great finish, as a matter of fact. If you had a chance to see today's final round of the Masters, you know what an incredible tournament it is. After yesterday's foul weather, it looked like Ben Crenshaw would be in the driver's seat. But the trip to the seamstress to have the green jacket fit just right never quite seems to finish like you'd expect. And today was no exception, because as soon as they teed off, it was anybody's game to win. Starting early, Seve Ballesteros from the bunker. He drops this one in at the second hole to move 2 under par. Then on the 5th hole, roll in, and he moves to -5. Scott Hoch also made a run this afternoon. He birdies here, and he moves to 4 under. And how about Mike Reed at the 9th? Drops it in, and he has the lead at this point at -5. Gentle Ben didn't go away on 7. Watch this approach. That's why he's such a good putter. Right up close to the pin. That was an easy putt for him, and you have to be aware of the shark. Greg Norman on 16. He drops it in. Nick Faldo really started coming on strong at the 16th. A beautiful putt. Watch this roll in at 5 under par. After Mike Reed and Seve fell by the wayside, Crenshaw on 17 for the birdie. Just another sensational putt, but he would stay at -4. Nick Faldo and Scott Hoch headed for overtime on the first hole. Hoch has a chance to win, but it wouldn't fall. Nick Faldo would get his opportunity on the next hole, and Faldo is going to roll it in. And Nick Faldo owns the green jacket as the 1989 Masters champion. Here is how they finish up. Faldo and Hoch of sudden death. Norman and Crenshaw finish a stroke back. Seve 2 strokes behind. Some other scores, some big names. Tom Watson finished 2 over par. Nicholas Trevino and Curtis Strange all finished at +3, and Fuzzy Zeller finished 5 over, 10 strokes off the lead. Well, let's talk some baseball now. And in the American League, the Minnesota Twins would like nothing better this year than to prove to the world that they're better than the Oakland A's. Last year, the Twinkies took a backseat to the A's and finished 2nd in the AL West. And so far, the Twins are off to a good start, winning 4 of their first 5. Today, they played host to the Baltimore Orioles at the Hubert H. Humphrey Dome. Tom Kelly is loose as ever, looking for the weekend sweep. Top 1, Randy Milligan facing the Twins ace Frank Viola. He smacks a 3-run dinger to left, and the O's led it 3-0. Top of the 6th we go, Cal Ripken Jr., and he belts a 2-run dinger off of Frank Viola, and it was 5-0 Orioles. Jeff Ballard throwing for the O's loses his shutout in the 7th. Kent Herbeck with the solo shot to right center, but Baltimore improves to 3-2. The final today, Baltimore 8, Minnesota 1. Cleveland gets by the Yankees. Boston tops KC. Detroit and Milwaukee postponed due to the precip. Texas over Toronto 3-2. California crushes, doubles the score on Chicago. Well, as for the National League, the Western Division in the senior circuit is anybody's guess. Hey, I know it's early, but even the Braves are above 500. Seriously, anybody can get hot, and they can finish on top. One team that definitely has the talent is the Cincinnati Reds. Their big question is, will they have a manager? Pete Rose trying to concentrate on what's going on between the chalk lines today, facing San Francisco. Reds fall behind 1-0 top 1, and then with the bases jammed, Matt Williams, who has been 0 for 14 coming in, says, see ya, a grand slam off of Danny Jackson, and it was 5-love. Mitchell, Maldonado, and Manwaring come around to score. Top 4, Brett Butler with the single. That'll Giants 6-0, and you get the picture of the final today, 9-1. San Diego over Houston 5-4. Chicago tops Pittsburgh. The Mets over Montreal. St. Louis pounds Philadelphia 15-3. And in 12 innings, the Dodgers get by Atlanta 4-2. On the ice, Game 4 of the divisional semifinals tonight, and the Patrick division has been supplying plenty of action, especially if you're a Pittsburgh Penguin fan. The guys who aren't used to playing at this time of year entered play tonight just 1 win away from a clean sweep of the New York Rangers. And the Rangers had a rookie in goal, Mike Richter getting his first NHL start, and Mario Lemieux slips a power play goal past him as the youngster in goal. Lemieux's 3rd of the series, and it's 1-0 Penguins. 27 seconds later, Phil Bourque gets another. Pittsburgh led 2-0. And then watch this sequence down in front of the Penguins' goal. Mario Lemieux shoves Chris Nyland, and he comes up with a cheap shot to Lemieux's face. After that, a small gathering of friends then proceeded to swing at each other. Phil Esposito knew it was over, and it is for the Rangers. The season is finished. The final 4-3. Pittsburgh sweeps them 4 straight. Philadelphia and Washington are now tied at 2 games apiece. Montreal wins their series 4-0 over Hartford. Boston leads their series 2-1 over Buffalo with a 3-2 win. In the third, Chicago leads Detroit 3-1. Minnesota stays alive. They beat St. Louis 5-4. Edmonton takes a 3-1 jump on the Kings. 4-3 the final there. And in the second, it is Vancouver 1-0 over Calgary. On to the NBA, and when you're talking about the game's best point guards, of course the names like Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas and John Stockton come up. But now there's a new name to throw in the ring. You've probably heard of him before. He's the league's leading scorer and most frequent flyer, and he's even picked his game up a notch since being moved to the point. Air Jordan and a couple of his teammates were in Atlanta to face the Hawks today. Jordan running the show, and he will drive and dump it to the big fella Dave Corzine for 2. But Mike Fratello's Hawks still led by 5 at this point. Atlanta moved the ball up quickly. Dominique to Moses Malone for 2 of his 12 first-half points. Hawks take over in the third behind Doc Rivers. Big quarter for Doc. He drives, throws in the hook. Michael Jordan also had a big quarter in the third. Driving around a host of Hawks. He had another triple-double today. It wasn't enough. The final, Atlanta 108, Chicago 100. Cleveland gets by Charlotte by 6. New York 94, Washington 92, and Detroit without Isaiah Thomas wins 191 over Milwaukee. A couple other things to pass on. Auto racing. Rusty Wallace wins the Valleydale 500 in Bristol, Tennessee, and the University of Michigan, national champions as they are, will have a new basketball coach tomorrow, a full-time head coach, Steve Fisher, who is 6-0 as a head coach and has a national championship, will be named tomorrow at 11 a.m.
After that unbelievable game last week, I suppose he deserved it.
It was an unbelievable game, wasn't it?
That's right, that's right. Your team won. Thanks, John. Still to come, a bigger and what most people would therefore call a better jackpot is up for grabs. We'll have details when we come back.